Hey guys, right here I have a 2013 Volvo XC90 T5 all-wheel drive executive. And today I'm going to make a startup and full vehicle tour video of it, show you the features inside and out. So here is the key. Let's go ahead and start it up first. The XC90 comes with a hydraulic rack and pinion power steering system. The executive trim brings a wood steering wheel to the XC90. Only one transmission is available for the XC90 T5 in Malaysia, and that is a 5-speed automatic with geartronic manual shifting via the plus and minus down by the gear lever. The W button to the right of the gear lever enables the car to start off in a higher gear to prevent the wheels from spinning, say, on a slippery road. Shifting the transmission into reverse will activate the reverse camera that shows up on the navigation display, as well as the rear parking sensors. As part of the executive trim as well, the XC90 comes with a gear lever that has wood trim on it. Although this XC90 may be the oldest model in Volvo's range, the amount of safety features it has is still comparable, if not better, than some of its newer rivals. As standard, the XC90 T5 Executive gets 6 airbags, anti-lock braking system with electronic brake force distribution and brake assist, blind spot information system, dynamic stability and traction control, roll stability control, whiplash protection system, rollover protection system, side impact protection system, Volvo guard alarm, immobilizer, and ISOFIX child seat anchor points for the rear seats. As usual, let's turn on the hazards, lights, rear fog light, take a look at the engine, and roll down the driver's side window. "19-inch Galatea alloy rims with the XC inscription are standard on the XC90 T5 Executive. These rims are wrapped in Pirelli P0 Rosso 255/50 R19 tires. Ventilated disc brakes are found at all 4 corners. For the suspension, the front gets McPherson struts, while the back gets a multi-link setup. The approach angle, departure angle, and breakover angle for the XC90 is 25 degrees, 28 degrees, and 20 degrees respectively. The current XC90 has been around for about 12 years. This first generation XC90 is noted as being Volvo's first SUV. The styling of the XC90 was previewed as the Volvo Adventure concept car at the 2001 North American International Auto Show. The production version of the XC90 debuted the following year at the 2002 North American International Auto Show. As with all other Volvos, the XC90 was designed to be safe, but at the same time still practical and comfortable for daily usage. Recently, Volvo announced the second generation XC90 for the 2015 model year, and it features more aggressive styling, updated engines, and new safety features. While the second generation XC90 is set to replace the first generation XC90 that we have right here in most parts of the world, it seems that the first generation XC90 will still live on in China as the XC Classic. Underneath the bonnet of the XC90 T5 resides Volvo's B5254 T9 2.5-litre dual overhead cams, 20 valves turbocharged inline-5 engine with variable valve timing. It produces 210 horsepower at 5000 RPM and 320 Nm of torque between 1500 and 4500 RPM. 0 to 100 takes 9.9 seconds, while the top speed is said to be 210 km per hour. With a fuel tank that carries 80 litres of petrol, the XC90 T5 has a combined fuel consumption of 11.4 litres per 100 km, and it produces 268 grams of carbon dioxide per kilometre. This XC90 features an electronic all-wheel drive system with instant traction. The first generation XC90 has been sold in Malaysia for quite a while now. It was available with a variety of engines in pre-facelift form and post-facelift form. The facelift model debuted in 2008 with a single 2.5T variant. At the beginning of 2009, a D5 variant was made available. January 2013 saw a new variant of the XC90 in the form of the XC90 T5 Executive. At this point, the 2.5T and D5 variants were dropped from the lineup. Exterior features of the XC90 T5 Executive includes automatic auto-leveling adaptive bi-xenon projector headlights, automatic wipers, headlight washer system, LED daytime running lights, LED rear lights, rear fog light, rear parking sensors, front bumper bar, chrome side mirror covers with integrated side indicators, roof rails, spare tire mounted beneath the rear bumper, and dual exhaust pipes mounted within a single trapezoidal frame.
Right down there you do have a speaker together with a bottle holder and some storage. And right up here you do have your mirror controls, window controls. Only the front two windows are fully automatic in both ways. You also do have your central locking and window lock right here as well. Right next to your headlight switch, you do have the lever to adjust the brightness of the interior at night. And down below, to the left of the rear fog light control, you do have the button to activate your automatic headlights. And down below, your parking brake release. You do have Volvo door sills for this side. And the driver's seat in this XC90 T5 Executive does come standard with full powered adjustments. All of your controls are located right here. You do have 3% memory as well. The only manual control for the seats are your lumbar control, adjusted via that knob right there. Alright. So let's go ahead and see how she revs. The XC90 T5 Executive does come standard with a dual zone automatic climate control system. All of your controls are located right down here. It is quite simple to use. You do have your fan speed right down here. Passenger side temperature, driver side temperature, different modes, automatic, recirculation, air conditioning, as well as your front and rear defrost. Down below, you do have the button to activate or deactivate the active bending lights for the headlights, button to turn off the interior sensors for the alarm system, button to turn on or off the parking sensors, button to activate the power folding mirrors, button to turn on or off the child lock for the rear doors, button to turn on or off the blind spot information system, button to turn on or off the rear air conditioning, as well as a power outlet. You also do have a small cutout for storage down below.
The XC90 comes with an integrated head unit with various media connectivity options and a premium sound system that has 12 speakers and a 5x130 watt amplifier. A navigation system is also provided in the XC90 via the display that rises out of the dashboard.
I must say, for stock sound system, the speakers in the XC90 does sound quite good. The head unit, as well as the navigation screen, are actually two separate items, and the screen right above is actually controlled using this remote. You do have your zoom in out buttons, menu, map, back, and this sort of like toggle wheel in the center that goes up, down, left, right, and clicks down for enter. The navigation system in this XC90 is actually a Garmin based unit, so Garmin users will be familiar with the interface. Click this toggle wheel down for enter, and we are brought to the main navigation screen. You do have your destination input. You can input it via points of interest, go to your nearest Volvo service or showroom, recently found destinations, spell the destination name out, via favorites, address, exits, go home, via the different cities, travel guide, phone numbers. You can browse the map to go to your destination, enter it via an intersection, or enter your destination via coordinates. You can also view the map right here, and if you have time highlighted, you can select between direction of travel, elevation, or time. And if you do have the navigation active, you can also select between distance to destination and estimated time of arrival. If you have speed highlighted, it will bring up your driving data. You do have your mileage traveled, bearing, elevation, elapsed time, and your maximum speed. Down below, you do have your navigation settings with your system settings, navigation, display, map, language, time, security, and all that. You do have your navigation tools as well with your calculator, clock, and you do have your navigation volume as well. Now, if you do not want the screen jutting out just like that, you can always retract it back into the dashboard. Just hit 1 and in together,
And to make it extend, just press one and in together again. Also, if you're in maps, you can use the in-out buttons, obviously to zoom in and out. Alright, so that's it for the navigation screen. Let's go down to the head unit. On the left side, you can select between CD, FM, AM, and you also do have your seat track buttons. The knob controls the volume, and there is the power button on the knob itself. Right down here, you do have your Bluetooth telephone keypad. It also doubles up as your 10 customizable stations for the FM, AM menu. You do have some storage down here, and your CD player. The CD player is MP3 compatible. Your controls for the screen itself. Right now you're in your Bluetooth telephone menu. If you just hit menu, use the up and down arrows, you can cycle through between your call list, phone book, your Bluetooth options, call options, and phone settings. If you hit phone, it cycles between your phone menu or your Bluetooth menu. My key basically allows you to store a favorite key on this button. If you just use the right knob, you can cycle between Bluetooth, CD, or auxiliary. If you hit sound, you can access your sound system settings with your bass, treble, balance and fader, your center settings, surround settings, and all that. You also do have your on-hook, off-hook buttons for the Bluetooth telephone. Now, we are in your Bluetooth menu at the moment. If you use the up and down arrows, you actually access your Bluetooth media menu. Under audio settings, you have your equalizer and surround sound settings. Or you can just reset all back to factory settings. Central locking, and on the steering wheel, the right spoke houses your audio controls with your volume, selecting between your different tracks or radio stations, your on-hook, off-hook buttons for the Bluetooth telephone system, and on the left spoke you do have your cruise control. On the left stalk, you do have your indicator controls, as well as your multi-information display controls. Use this wheel right here to cycle through between your different menus. Right now you do have your range, average fuel consumption, instant fuel consumption, average speed, turning the display off, your dynamic stability and traction control status, and back to your range. Hit the reset button to reset the various values on the multi-information display, and use the button at the end of the indicator stalk to access the vehicle's messages. And on the right stalk, you do have your wiper controls. The button at the end of the wiper stalk turns on your rear wipers, and this button right here activates the automatic wipers. Within the instrument cluster, just below the speedometer, you do have your mileage and trip meter, and below the rev counter, you do have your gear position, time, and outside temperature. The steering wheel in the XC90 is tilt and telescopic. You adjust it via this lever right here.
You do have a small cutout for storage right here, and underneath this cover, a couple of cup holders and your auxiliary port. Central armrest with storage down below. You can also flip the cover over so you have a storage area for the rear passengers. Auto dimming rear view mirror, your interior lighting controls right up here, and there is a sun visor with vanity mirror and lights for the driver's side. Alright, so I guess that's it for the startup. We can turn it off right now. And continue with the rest of the tour. You do have some storage down there with your speaker, and your window control is located right here. You do have the side impact protection system branding down there. And to gain access to the last row of seats, locate this lever right here, pull it, flip the seat back forward, and then move the whole seat forward. Now that I am in the last row of seats, it is not what you would call comfortable back here. It is actually very uncomfortable. I'm about 5'7", which is about 1.7 meters tall. I do have to bend down my head a little bit so I do not touch the ceiling, and there's probably no legroom at all for me. However, the cutouts in the middle row seat backs do actually help a little bit with legroom. However, if more legroom is needed back here, the middle row seats can actually slide forward, so there's the extra bit of legroom for the last row of seats. But for the back, on both sides, you do have storage compartments and cup holders. Aircon vents on the C pillar, and for this side, you do have your rear fan speed control right down there. In between the seats, you do have some storage underneath this flap. And right above, you do have this device right here that enables all of the rear passengers, excluding the one in the middle for the middle row. It enables all of these passengers to listen to their own music if they did not want to listen to what's
playing on the main head unit right in front. On the side, you do have your volume control. On top, you do have your different mode selections, your seat track buttons, as well as individual headphone ports, 2 on this side and 2 on the other side. The middle row seats are definitely more comfortable than the last row. I do have quite a lot of legroom. The driver's seat is in a position that I would feel comfortable in, and I do have room to stretch out my legs underneath the driver's seat. I have about this much legroom and about this much headroom. For the middle row, I do get storage pockets on the front seat backs. Right down here, a power outlet, ashtray or storage area depending on what you use it for, a couple of cup holders, and if you reach down here, you can actually remove this center armrest and storage. Just for that extra bit of legroom for the middle passenger. And speaking of the middle passenger, the middle seat is actually a child booster seat as well. Just locate this lever right here, pull it, and you can enable your child booster seat. There are aircon vents on the B pillar. And right above, you do have grip handles with hooks for both sides. Your middle row lighting right above. And your last row and boot lighting right there. To open up the rear hatch, just locate a lever right beneath the L of the Volvo badge, and it opens right up.
It is a split level, so you do have the tailgate down below, and to release the tailgate, just pull this lever and let the tailgate fall down.
With all the seats in place, boot space is rather small at 249 liters. There is a power outlet to the right of the boot, and the boot floor opens up to reveal a cargo strap that keeps items in place and a couple of cargo hooks.
Now to fold the last row of seats, first you have to pull this lever and then move the seat base all the way back until it locks in place. And then simply just push the seat back forward. The headrests will automatically tilt forward.
Folding the last row of seats down reveals 615 liters of boot space. With the last row of seats folded, a cargo cover can be installed so it keeps items secure.
Now, to fold the middle row seat backs down, for the outer two seats, you have to first flip the headrests forward, just by pulling this strap right here. And then reaching behind, there is a lever that you pull, and this lever flips the seat back down. For the middle seat, there is the same lever.
With both the last row and middle row seats folded, boot space then increases to 1,837 liters. On the rear hatch itself, there is a strap to help pull the rear hatch close, as well as a light to illuminate the area.
The front headrests are fixed. For the middle row, only the middle headrest is adjustable. The outer two only flips down to aid visibility while parking.
while the two headrests for the last row also only flip down to 8 visibility while parking.
You do have some storage down there with a bottle holder, speaker, and your window control. You also do have a central locking button for this side as well. Volvo door sills for this side as well. There are storage pockets on the front seat back, the driver's seat, and the two outer passengers on the middle row. And the front passenger seat in this XC90 does get full powered adjustments. It just loses out on the memory setting. The manual lumbar control is right there as well. Lockable glove box. It is of a nice size. It is quite deep down there. The sun visor for the front passenger also gets a vanity mirror and some lights. Alright, so let's start it up with the door closed. Alright, so let's go ahead and take a test drive of this XC90.
This review was made possible thanks to the marketing department of Volvo Cars Malaysia, who loaned out their XC90 T5 to me for a few days. As with all other reviews, let us start off by talking about the drivetrain. The engine might feel underwhelmed because of the XC90's size, but it still has enough power for city driving, highway cruising, and even overtaking. The 5-speed automatic tends to hold on to gears rather than performing smooth shifts. Being a large SUV, the handling of the XC90 is not as good as, say, its smaller V40 sibling. There is a noticeable amount of body roll when going through corners, however, the XC90 performs well in the comfort department. The XC90 might be old, the exterior design might not be exciting or aggressive, but the design has aged well. The bi-xenon headlights perform a good job at night, and the adaptive function for the headlights are quite useful in lighting up a corner as you go through it. I mentioned earlier that the XC90 comes with a lot of safety and security features, making it one of the safest SUVs around. Next up is the interior. Space is good in the front and middle rows, however, the last row is best suited for smaller people. The boot is small, with all the seats in place, but it is able to carry a lot of items when the last row of seats are folded away. For longer items, the middle row seats do fold, and the front passenger seat back folds down as well. The seats are comfortable, and the two front ones have plenty of adjustments, making it easier for people sitting in front to find their correct position. The dashboard looks dated, but it is functional. All of the controls are where you would find them.
Hey guys, thought I'd make a nighttime startup video of this 2013 Volvo XC90 T5 all-wheel drive executive. So, here's the key fob. Let's go ahead and get started. You can actually manually activate welcome lights just by pressing the yellow button on the key fob. The parking lights in front turn on. The lights underneath each of the side mirrors turn on as well. And the rear lights as well as the number plate lights turn on. Now, most of the buttons on the center console actually light up in this shade of greenish white. The display for the head unit has a white on black background. The navigation screen does have its own automatic day-night mode. The buttons on the steering wheel light up in the same shade of greenish white. And almost all of the buttons switches to the right of the steering wheel, as well as the window controls and whatnot. What I like is the instrument cluster. Instead of backlit gauges, it is actually, if I'm not wrong, they're actually LED lights located right above that sort of like shine towards the gauges instead of the gauges being backlit, which looks quite nice. Alright, so that's it for the startup and full vehicle tour video of this 2013 Volvo XC90 T5 all-wheel drive executive. Thanks for watching and goodbye.